Hello everyone, and welcome back to the course. Today we're going to get a bit hands-on with Power BI by exploring the report view that we spoke about. And this is the canvas, like I said, where all your data visualization magic happens. Understanding the report view is essential because, again, it's where you create, customize, and arrange all your visuals. And by the end of this lesson, you will be comfortable navigating the interface and adding visuals, and also knowing where to find the tools you need to build your impactful reports. So let's dive in. For one moment, I'm going to clear the canvas. I'm going to delete all these visuals we created in the past, so I could just click on that ellipsis and remove, or I could just select the visual and press delete on my keyboard. So select visual, delete, select visual, and delete. So now I have a very clean canvas. So let's dive in now. First, what is the report view? The report view is, said again, where we create and design our reports. Is that is our main workspace in Power BI. It's like your blank paint canvas where you do your data visualization. So let's familiarize ourselves with some key components of this interface. First, we are going to be looking at the ribbon menu. The ribbon menu is located at the top of your screen, and you can see it contains home, inserts, modeling, view, optimize, and basically each tab that we click on provides tools and options related to specific task. We also have the views pane, right? Basically, and this is where you have all your views. You have your report view, table view, your model view, and we have our DAX query view. Now, the fields pane is what's also known as the data pane, and it's basically where all your data that you have imported and you want to use in your visualization is housed. So we've imported a lot of tables. We have cycle age group, which is one of our tables. We can click on that drop down and we can see the fields. We can see cycles calendar. We can see cycles sales 2019, 2020. And that's where all our fields are. Now, we can create visuals simply. Just a simple way to create a visual. I can select one of my data points, for example, and all I have to do is drag it into my canvas and it will create a visual for me. So let's do revenue. Let's drag revenue and bring it here. Automatically it creates a visual with revenue. So here it has created a bar chart here. So that's just a simple way of creating a visual. We'll talk more about visuals. I'm going to delete this again. We have the visualization pane, right? And this allows us to choose different um, visual types. It allows us to customize visuals and adjust inputs, right? So this is where we actually do all our creating our visuals in this visualization pane. So if we check it out, we can see that we have different icons. So you can see this is the icon for start bar chart, for start column charts, for clustered bar charts, for clustered column chart, etc. So if you hover on all these icons, you see the names of uh, those charts. If we let's select the chart. Let's bring a bar chart, a start bar chart. If I click on that, the start bar chart appears in my canvas. So now I want us to look at three key areas in our visualization pane. First, it has the visual types, right? And this is where we find all the different um, type of visualization we want. And one thing you should note, if I have a visualization selected, and you know it's selected when you see this bounding box around it, I can change that visual type once that visual is selected by clicking on another visual. So this is currently a start bar chart with nothing in it. If I click on pie chart, it automatically changes it to a pie chart. But if I click away, so now nothing is selected, nothing is selected. You can see there's no bounding box there. If I click on a new visual type, it creates a new visual type. Doesn't change the previous one to whatever. So let's delete. So just to reiterate, if I select a visual and I click on another visual type, it changes that visual to the new visual type. Change to a gauge, I could change to a map, I could change to a map here, I could change to a card, I could change it to bar chart, and that's because it's selected. But once it's unselected, when I click on anyone here, it brings in a new visual. So that's how to add new visuals to your visualization. So let's delete all this. That was just by the way. So let's bring more back. When we have a visual here, we see three panes here. One is the pane that allows us in this pane we can select visual types etc. The next pane or the next bucket is the fields bucket here, and this is where we actually add data to our visual element. So this is our visual element and it's empty, right? It's empty. But here you see y-axis, x-axis, legend. So this is where we actually add data to our visual element. So if I wanted to see, this is a bar chart. If I wanted to see revenue on my x-axis, I just drag revenue to x-axis here, and I have revenue on my x-axis. So you can see on my x-axis I have sum of revenue. Nothing is on my y-axis here. So if I want to see let's do something. If I want to see gender in my y-axis, if I drag customer gender to my y-axis, now I have gender on my y-axis, male and female, and I can see that simple bar chart, male and female. So male on the y-axis, revenue on the x-axis, and that's basically what that field bucket, those field buckets do. I can drag anything to legend. I can drag to small multiples, and we'll talk about all this in a bit. But we're just familiarizing ourselves with the canvas. Also, there's the format tab. So here you see this little paintbrush, and it allows us to format whatever visual we have selected. So if I click on the format tab, I can do a lot of formatting on this visual that I have selected. For example, I could go to the y-axis and I want the color of the font. So you can see the font color. There are a lot of options, and honestly, you can't go through everything, but you have to try your hands out and look through all the drop downs to find what you can use. With time, you build that expertise and you know where to go for what. So first of all, I can turn off my values for y-axis. You can see I can toggle it off and on. I can change the font type to something else that I like. I could use the font size. I can change the font color to blue, for example. I can increase the width. I can reduce the width. I can add a title. Title is currently turned on. You can see it's customer gender. I can turn it off. And everything that is happening is for my y-axis. Remember, it's under y-axis, right? So I can turn it back on. For layout, I can, make different changes to my layout. But let's bring it back. Right. So that's what the format tab does, right? We can do different things. We can add grid lines. We can adjust our bars. I don't want my bars to be. I want different colors for male and female, so I can change my category to male, and I want the male to be this color, and I want female to be this color. And see, we do a lot of formatting in this tab, so that's where a lot of formatting happens. We also have an analysis tab, and we'll get to that towards the tail end of the video. And basically, this just allows us to do things like do some analysis on our visuals. So that's the visualization pane, right? We'll also talk about the filter pane. Now, the filter pane allows us filter at different levels, and in Power BI there are 3 different levels that you can apply your filter. One is a visual level filter, meaning, what does a visual level filter mean? It means if I have, let's create 2 visuals here. Let's do two visuals. I can copy and paste the visual. I don't think I mentioned that, so I could do Control C and click out. So when you do click on the, so these are the steps. Select the visual, Control C, click outside that visual, do Control V, and you have another visual. So for this second visual, I don't want to do gender again. I want to change. I don't want the y-axis to be gender. Let it be something else. So let's do maybe region. Let's do continent instead. So we have continent, North America, Europe, and Pacific. Right. So we're talking about filters, and I said there are three levels of filtering in Power BI. There's the visual level filter, there's the page level filter, and there's the report level filter. What are visual level filters? Basically, the visual level filter only affects the selected visual. And you see this filter pane here, I can apply filters. So I've selected this visual. I can apply different filters on this visual alone. So maybe I want to select for only one product on this visual alone. Again, you can see on this filter pane we have filters on this visual, filters on this page. So filters on this visual is filtering only that visual. Filters on this page is filtering every visual on this page, and we'll talk about pages. Power BI allows you to create multiple pages. So filters on this page, I'm going to filter everything on this page, and filters on all pages filters everything in the entire report, irrespective of what page it is. So those are the three levels of visual filters. So if I want to filter something on this visual, which is a visual level filter, I could drag, say I want to filter for only a certain age group. So I take age group, I could just drag age group to that visual. So if I'm going to filters on this visual, and I put it in one of these tabs. So maybe I just want for adults. I'm just comparing for adults. If I click on adults alone, now my visual has changed. Or maybe I just want for young adults. I think I want young adults, adults, and seniors. I want to take away every youth. I don't want youth. I just want young adults, seniors, and adults. You can see it affects only, if you look at these two visuals, only this visual is changing. It affects only this visual. The other visual doesn't change because this is a visual level filter. Filters on this visual. I'm going to remove that because I do not want. I just click on this X here and it's back to normal. Now, if we look at page level filters, these are filters on this page, right? If I drag the same age group to this pane here and I select adults, you can see both visuals change, right? You can see, because again, this is a page level filter. It's applying to every visual on this page. So let's just delete that. I'm going to just clear that out and delete that. There's also filters on all pages, and let's talk about how to create a new page in Power BI. I'm just going to put my face in it. So you can see this is page 1 in Power BI. We could just, let's rename it. If you double click on it, pardon me. If you double click on it, you can edit the name. So let's call this first page. First page. You can create a new page by clicking on the plus sign, and we have a new page created. Let's call this second page. Let's bring one of the filter or one of the visuals here. Let's bring in a third visual. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, go to my second page, and click on the canvas and do Control V. And I have a whole new visual here. I can increase the size. Let's make this, I don't want by continent here. Let's do by product. Or let's do product category. Actually, product will be too large. So we do product category and I drag it to the y-axis. I have for product category. Now, if we go to the first page, and we've tried out page level filters, we've tried out visual level filters. Let's try out report level filters, and that will be filters on all pages. If I drag age group, and just so you can take notes, that affects this page. I'm going to add a label to this chart so you can see the number before I apply the filters and after I apply the filters. So how do I add a data label? If I go to format, right, you can see data label is turned off. If I turn it on, I can see it's 51 million here, 30 million here, 5 million. So take note of the numbers: 51, 35. Let's apply the page level, the report level filters. I'm going to click on one of them and I'm going to drag H group, still using H group, right, to the report level filters on all pages. Now, if I select for adults or seniors, now you can see all this is affected. Yes, granted, but is the second page affected? Let's check. And you can see it's affected. This is 184,000, 101,000, 28,000, as opposed to 51 million, 30 million, and 5 million before we apply the filter. And you can see even when I'm on this page, that filter is still showing in my filter pane. So let's just clear it out and take it back to what it is. So that's the filter pane, right? It allows us to apply filters at different levels depending on what you were trying to achieve. Right, and then lastly, we talk about the report canvas, and you can see what we've done on the report canvas. Basically, it's that area where you place and arrange your visuals. Again, we've seen how to add multiple pages to our reports, and yeah, I think we've been able to get an understanding from this video on how the report view operates and how we can do something. So what I would advise is after this video, play around with a lot of things. You can't really break anything. I mean, you could, but it's part of the learning process. So play around with a lot of things, try and do some things on your own, and then we'll see you in the next video.